ballet has for years been associated with a strict discipline,
Painful.
military, painful, even, shedding blood way. And I was always, no, it shouldn't be like that. Why? I don't like the expression work hard. I like more the expression work smart. For the little ones to have a good beginning where their bodies are developed, the movement is developed, but also it helps the brain development a lot because the kids learn through movement. So I think excellence comes by wanting to improve all the time. And I remember I was never happy with something that I did the last year. I would just change it and change it and change it every year. And I said, how did I do that last year? I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Now I see that it's not that good. So I think excellence comes to all areas of the business when you want to keep changing.
Welcome to another Starting From Scratch episode, the podcast that comes to inspire entrepreneurship, and we learn through the stories of the people that went through and built their own business. Today we have a very exciting and creative story with a lot of motion. Avgi Papakyriakou, welcome from
Thank you.
Motion Art Studio.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here and have you share your story on how you created this amazing business. How did you manage to went through all these years, because you are more than 30 years in the business, yes?
Yes.
So it's also I'm also very inspired to learn from people that created their own business and last for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And from people that started something before it was a trend or it was a must. Because now, for us, like I have a daughter, it's a must to go and try dancing or other activities as well. But I believe back in the days it wasn't like that, yes?
Especially in Nicosia, I think Limassol was more popular with that. Limassol had a lot of ballet schools then, and everybody would do ballet. But Nicosia was less. We were like the second city. But now I think we are more than Limassol.
All right. Let's take a step back and take us from the humble beginnings on what did you study, how did you decide to take this journey in your life, and how did you manage to open a business and become a businesswoman back in
1990, it was the beginning. I always danced. I didn't walk. I just danced everywhere. But I never thought of being a ballet teacher. I never had that as a child. I guess I didn't get that inspired from the teachers I had then. So I actually got turned off from the teachers. So
they told you that you're not good enough to
no, but
dance?
what I saw in them, I didn't want to be like them because I didn't really like what I was seeing in them. But then at the age of 17, I decided to follow what everybody was telling me. They were all telling me, oh, you have to do this. You're really good at it. Because I would choreograph since primary school. I remember putting up shows and choreographing pieces in primary. And then later on, when I went to middle school and high school, I would do that. So all the teachers of the school were telling me this, not my ballet teacher.
So you used to go ballet dance after school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That was
But
not,
I wasn't.
was not very common at the days, yes?
There were not a lot of schools. So my teacher was not really encouraging me to do this. But when I changed teacher at the age of 17, I got a lot of pushing. Like she would tell me in the class, oh, you're going to be a very good teacher. She would repeat that because I was actually correcting her most of the time. So I would know all the exercises very well. I would tell her if she made a mistake. So I got encouragement from her and from everybody at my, normal school. And that's when I made the decision, but it wasn't a clear decision. I just put myself up with 3 choices. It was either you get into the best school and do the dance, or I was going to be an interior designer, or I was going to be into computers. It was just when computers came out, and I loved the technology, so I thought I could study computers. And when I got accepted at the Royal Academy of Dance in London, it was a big achievement to get accepted then. And I was the second Cypriot who got accepted in the college. So I said, okay, this is it.
This is it. I have to do it.
Yeah. And it was a big challenge for me to get accepted and then to actually do to complete the studies there.
This is a message for the teacher now that I get, that if you are a good teacher, you can inspire
Yes,
and make
very
a
important.
big change.
But also with your own,
Presence.
everything. She didn't look like a dancer, so that's why the first one. That's why I said I don't want to look like that, as a child. So yeah, I think it's important to have the whole package.
Yeah. And then you came back from London and...
I didn't come back. I went to New York. I was very much into modern jazz. I love jazz dancing in general, so I wanted to do more the American style of modern. And in London at the Royal Academy of Dance College, of course, I got a very good education, and I got registration also to teach ballet and also modern jazz, but it was more the British way, which is very different. And I went to New York. I stayed there for a couple of months, and I went into the different schools that did all of that, and I got lots of inspiration from them. And I came back, and I was lucky to get a job at my teacher's school, and she gave me a full-time job teaching every day until late at night.
She was waiting for you. She was waiting for you.
I don't know if she was waiting, but I was lucky to teach everything from 4-year-olds up to 18-year-olds, all the levels. So I got all that responsibility, and I was literally on my own doing that.
At the age of 23?
When I came back, it was 24.
24.
Yeah, if I make the maths right. Yes, 24. No, it wasn't. It was less. Because I went to study at the age of 19. I had a gap year. So 19 plus 3, that makes us 22. And I stayed there, and I was going to stay even longer. I stayed for 2 years, but we had some... well, I don't want to go into that, but for some reason I had to leave.
Okay.
But I was happy teaching there, and it was a great experience. And I decided to do my own thing, and in a couple of months, we just built it. It was amazing that I wanted to build from scratch a dance school that was specially designed to have the proper space, because where I was dancing, it wasn't proper space. There were not... the facilities were not as good as they should be. So I said, I want to make it right. I want to have a big space and a good space to inspire. So we went into a process and quickly set up this beautiful building in a few months. And it wasn't ready on time. So the funny story is that when I opened in September, I didn't have any windows or doors. It was just walls. And I remember we put the piano there, and everything was open, And I said, I'm going to start with windows. And I did the registration. I remember next to the shop Nora, they let me sit there in their office and do registrations. And we started with the windows open.
There was no risk of...
There was. We actually had people coming in and making, vandalism.
Okay.
But it was okay. After, I think in October, we were lucky to have everything set up and start. The building is so inspiring.
Is what you get when you start at the early beginnings of a trend, yes? That you can start without windows.
It was good timing that I started, but I think the other thing that helped me was when I left the other school, because the parents were not so happy, and because I was teaching there full, they really knew me more than the owner.
Okay.
So I had a good number that followed me. I didn't promote that, but it happened.
Yeah.
So I started and I had a good, decent number, but the good numbers came after. It became a very big trend. The modern jazz that I brought from the States became a very big trend. So in 1990, before I even opened it, because I was teaching it a couple of years before, it was so popular that I would get so many students coming, teenagers mostly, not kids. And it was a big trend, and that's when the numbers grew really sharp. I mean, I went up to 300, 400 students on my own in a couple of years.
On your own?
On my own. I
No.
didn't even have a secretary. I was
Okay.
completely on my own. And I don't know how I did it. I really don't. But I was teaching until 10 o'clock at night. And I had to do everything. I had to do, the managing, the administrative work, and work very hard. I had a pianist. I always wanted a full-time pianist with me. So I had a pianist from the very beginning who was playing for all the ballet classes. And I remember when the modern was at its peak, the kids had a saying, they would go to school and say, "Do you do Avgi?" It was like a saying.
Okay.
In Greek is pas Avgi, they would say that. And I think that it was also popular, the group that we made. We had the Reebok dancers then that danced in the international fair. And that was popular. A lot of kids saw that and got inspired and liked that. And it was also the beginning of hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
At that age,
How many other dance schools were in Nicosia?
There was not any school doing the modern jazz that I was doing, and there was no hip hop then. So I had some inspiration from the States. So I had a bit of a hip hop in the style, and I had then people that I collaborated with them that they later on set up their hip hop
Dance
schools. Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't learn it from me, but they also got that inspiration, and
Okay,
So it was the beginning of that as well. But there were schools, but not a lot. I don't remember how many, but not a lot. Especially in Nicosia, not a lot.
Yeah. Now they are a lot, yes?
Yes, now there are a lot. And right after me, like maybe a year after, more schools open. And then after 2 years, more schools open. So it was like the timing was...
How do you face this challenge of
I like competition.
competition?
I like competition. I think it's good to have competition. Because if you don't have competition, how are you going to get compared?
Yes.
If you think that you're offering something that is unique, you need to have something to be compared to. So
Yeah.
I don't worry about competition.
And become better, yes?
Yes, it does push you to become better, of course.
And we always discuss this, and I want you to share this again with me. How do you differentiate the dance schools
From
from...
in Greek, maybe it's a bit different, but in English, it's the same word, dance. We have the schools that teach the dances like Latin and Greek and Cypriot dancing and salsa and all of that. That's dance schools. And we are more like, we could say, endechnos choros in Greek. I don't know how to say it in English now. It doesn't come to my mind. Endechnos is technical. I don't know. I don't know the exact translation.
No.
Scholes endechnου χορού. That's the name in Greek.
Okay.
So these schools are the schools that teach ballet and contemporary, modern jazz, and it's a different study. I mean, I cannot teach ballroom and Latin. It's not something that I studied. I mean, I did a bit of ballroom when I was studying, but it's not something that I can teach. And it's the same for somebody that goes...
Even without a teacher? Like if you have a...
You could employ, but it's a different field. It's a different field because then you will have to offer all of that variety of, and you will have to have a lot of studios and a lot of teachers. I mean, somebody could do it. I mean, the dance schools actually do put a bit of ballet, and they do put a bit of contemporary.
You can say art dance school. Is it the translation of techno?
Art?
Dance school? No.
No.
Okay.
No. It has to do with the technique, I guess.
Okay.
So
Okay, but you separate it here in Cyprus, yes?
Yes.
As,
Yes, I think it is separated in most places. It's like also where I studied, they don't offer the other kind of dances.
Yes.
So,
Okay. So what do you offer now? What kind of?
well, classical ballet is the main genre that we offer, and we follow the Royal Academy of Dance system, which is one of the most prestigious systems in the world. It's, I would say, also the strictest as far as standard of exams is concerned. And every year we have examiners that come, or twice a year, and they examine the kids and give them an assessment and a report and a mark. Hopefully they pass.
Okay.
And a medal. And this is good. It gives them a goal and something to work for and to improve. And it gives us also a goal.
So you have people coming from the actual academy?
Yes, they are trained examiners that come from all over the world.
Okay.
Not necessarily from the UK. They could be from any country. And you know that you have a recognized diploma in your hands that you can actually use. And it's, if you go to study in the UK, you can use those credits for any kind of study. You don't have to study dance.
Yes.
It's equivalent to the GCSE.
Okay, and you do this for what ages? Someone that is 20?
From the age of 3 or 4 years old, they can start the ballet. And we also have a special program for the really young ones, from the age, as soon as they walk, from the age of 1 until the age of 3. It's a program that I created back in 14 years ago, when my second daughter was a toddler. I said, I have to make a program that it's Greek and not, foreign for us, that covers this gap, for the little ones to have a good beginning where their bodies are developed, the movement is developed, but also it helps the brain development a lot, because the kids learn through movement. What a better way. I mean, there's no other way to learn. So
And the by playing, yes?
Yeah, but playing again is
games.
Movement.
Yes.
Everything goes through movement. Even music, you have to learn it with movement. Yes?
But I think you have games in this program, yes?
Yes. It's like playing, but it's with a parent or anybody else that comes with a child. And they do different, I call them activities, but it's like playing, of course. They do different activities with their child, and it's a lot of fun. It's great for bonding, quality time with, with your
parent,
child.
Yes. Okay.
And I mean, especially as mothers, we never have the chance to play with our kids. The fathers, they do, but the mothers, they always have something to do in the house.
Yes.
So I admit, I never sat down to play, but when I did this, my daughter was 2.5, and I would start, experiment on her. And then I did research, and I also collaborated with a psychologist and with a music composer who composed special songs for us. And Baby Motion was created, and it's been running since then with a big success.
Nice.
Every year. And apart from the ballet, we have the modern jazz, which, as I said, was the trend for so many years. I had to give it up when I gave birth to my first daughter in 1995. I stopped teaching it, and it really broke my heart because I felt so connected with that. But I had to minimize. I was all by myself until then. And I started saying, okay, you have to give it to somebody else. And I started training other people to do it. But it was hard to find somebody that could actually do it.
Like you do it.
Like I do it. And then after a few years, I managed to get one of my students who studied dance my dear student Penelope Georgiadis, who's been with me for many years now, and she came back in 2008, and I said to her, I want you here with me. She would assist me for 2 years. Even when she was a student, she would come and assist me every day. She loved it so much. And when she came, she got the modern, and she was excellent. She did a great job.
So now you have a team, yes?
Yes, now I have a bigger team.
How many people you are?
We are now 4 teachers in total, but I also have an excellent administrative officer who is a new member of the team. I also have part-time teachers who are also actually the whole team, apart from our officer, has been a student at the studio. So this is great.
They know you, okay, and you
I know that it's like family. I mean, it's like when you have a child from the age of 4 and they grow up with you until the age of 18, you feel like they're, your family.
Yes.
You are the teacher that is with them the longest, if you think about it.
Yes. And okay, other than a family, which is a nice word to use, how do you handle employees? It's something that is always.
Okay, we're going to another subject.
Yes,
do you want me to finish the different styles of dance we offer?
Yes.
Because I'm going to forget that.
Yeah.
Okay, so apart from the modern jazz,
I want to discuss this about the employees, and I want to discuss about the values and how what the values mean to a company, because we're also doing this inspiration for our entrepreneurs. So we're going to discuss.
So apart from the modern jazz, we have the contemporary dance, which is very much developed the last years, and also we have a Danza Line is called. It's a very new program that we've been doing a few years now, which is to strengthen and stretch the body properly. And Nefeli Chudi is teaching that, and she's also a physiotherapist, and she's a specialist in dance injury prevention. So she's teaching that, and is very good for our students, but for anybody that wants to keep fit. We also have the newest trend, which is commercial jazz. And it's growing and growing now. It's really big. More and more students love it, and it's for the ages of 14 and above. And it's the latest trend, I would say. So I think I covered everything. We can go back to the team now.
Yes. It's always, I'm always asking this question in my podcast for Starting From Scratch, because I'm also a business owner, and I see that this part is probably the most challenging part.
Yes, it is. Yes. It is. And I didn't have any experience because I was a solo for so many years. And then it was a duet with people that I would employ, but they didn't really fit. And I really struggled to find somebody that I can teach with, and share the classes. And at the end, I ended up with, as I said, realizing that if it's somebody that finished your school and they have the same philosophy, it's so much better fit. So Penelope was the first one that joined the team, and later on she became my partner. And we are connected like, I don't know, soulmates, I think. We don't need to speak sometimes, we just communicate in other ways. And then Rafaela was the next person that came, and she would, as a student, she was like, you're going to be here, you're going to be a teacher. She was, as a child, she was a teacher. So I encouraged her a lot.
So yourself in here.
I influenced her, I think, a lot to do this job. So she came for holidays in Cyprus. She was going to go back to Italy. And I said to her, you're not leaving. I want you, And she stayed. The other new member we had is Anastasia Yorgalis, who again was in the school from a very young age. And she was dreaming of being part of motion art. She was always saying, I'm going to be with Avgi. I'm going to be part of motion art. And she made it. And she came and she's now doing full-time job for a few years. And she's doing great. And then I have Anastasia Paschali, who was a ballerina. She's been again with us when she was 4. And she was one of those talents that you could tell that she was going to be a ballet dancer. You could tell that she was going to succeed. She was just amazing. And I would say to the parents, she's going to be a dancer. And she became a dancer. And she had a long career. And we are lucky to have her. She's a part-timer. And she's teaching the advanced students. And she's a great asset to have. And Nefeli Chudi that I mentioned before, who was also a student. So these are our teachers. She's part-time doing the dance line now, but she would also teach hip-hop in the school because she's a break dancer.
The piano guy, yes.
And these are the teachers.
Okay.
And of course, as I said, I always had a full-time pianist. I had a pianist for 30 years, the same one who became my best friend. She was a Bulgarian lady, Anna Dimitrova, and we were so lucky to have her. She was an amazing pianist, and she inspired everyone with her playing. And when she was ready to retire, I said to her, "You have to find me somebody to, And she found Vasilis, who is now with us for 8 years. And it's nice to have a man, with all the women around. We love him. He's really a very kind soul, and we're really lucky to have him in the team. He helps with everything. When we have a show, he's the one who's going to be, managing the music, and we are really happy to have him.
Nice. So
the
basically, you stay in the game for many years until you have your own team that.
Yeah, it took a while to build the team.
Yes.
I think in 2008, Penelope came, and then in Rafaela came, oh my God, I think it was 2000.
So it took you 18 years.
Yeah.
So this is a message.
It was painful.
Yeah, for painful 18 years.
It was a painful. I think it was my fault as well. I did try to bring other people with me, but it took me a while. I wanted to establish everything before I give it to somebody else, and it wasn't easy to give it to somebody else because when the parents were used to only me, they were saying, "Who is teaching the class? It's not you. Why it's not you?" They were demanding that it was you. And now that I have a team, nobody's demanding that I have to teach it. Actually, I don't have any classes on me for the last couple of years. And I just teach randomly now. But at the beginning, it was, the parents were not happy that somebody else was teaching.
Yes.
But now that we are a team, it's great because everybody's following the same values and the same philosophies.
Okay, now you bring me to the values.
Yeah.
Because values, everyone, if you go to your website and to your social media, and always if you see values, it's just words, But what are these words mean and how they inspire others to join you is very important.
Yes.
So standing up for your values is important. And you say that you have one of your values is professionalism. What that means?
Well, the values, first of all, came out after a lot of discussions to minimize them into 5 words, because it's a lot of values at the end of the day, and you have to put them into categories, let's say.
Yes.
So professionalism covers a lot of things. It starts from your premises. It starts from what you demand from your students, whether they're going to be on time, whether you're going to finish on time as a teacher. Because I still remember, the parents waiting outside because my teacher would not look at the clock and she would just go on and not finish on time. And I think that's not professional.
Yes.
Yes.
But
some teachers think that, I'm going to give them more time. But you give them more time and you give less to the next one. And then it goes on. So, and also the parent is waiting outside is disrespectful.
Yes.
So
you have other... You have a schedule.
Yes, exactly. And also starting on time. That's another thing. You cannot let them wait because you're late. You have to be on time. So these were things that I was very strict with myself to do, and then I was strict with my teachers to do. And to have the premises, as I said from the beginning, I wanted to have the correct premises with the correct floor.
What does correct premises mean?
First of all, to have a big space without any columns in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where you have to build it to have the correct space. It's not easy to find and then, you know, convert it. And to have the proper floor, you have to have a sprung floor when you're jumping. You cannot get a cement floor and put a dance floor on top. You have to have a space and a wooden floor that allows this, you know, bouncing on it and jumping on it. Otherwise, you get injured. Immediately, you get injured. It's like hitting a brick wall. You know, you don't have any resilience. So
this is important for
the dance
health.
floor is not only important, is dangerous if you don't have it. And then it comes to having mirrors and the bars, of course, that is essential for ballet. And now there is a new dance floor that protects you, that you have to put on top of the wooden floor so that you don't slip. And good ventilation, air conditioning, and heating. You think that everybody has it, but
waiting area.
Yes, to have changing rooms.
Yes,
all of that.
Important.
Yeah, good lighting. And one thing that I struggled in when I was teaching in other schools was the sound. If you have no soundproof and you teach, you have to scream to be heard, and then you go home and you have a sore throat because you were shouting. And if you have a soundproof, you don't have to speak loud, and there's not a lot of, you know, noise, and you are relaxed. So
there is not a lot of tense.
Yes, if you have like nothing to absorb the sound, then the sound makes you crazy. So
does that lead to the second value, the excellence? Or
yes, I think it's connected. It's connected. Excellence is when you're not happy until you reach excellence. And I know sometimes I overdo it as a person. When we are about to put a show and we are working to make it, and you see the choreo and it's okay, but it's not excellent, and you want to make it excellent to satisfy you as a person, I'm still struggling with that. I like to reach the best in what I do. And again, excellence is in everything. Excellence is change. If you like to change as a person and improve, then you reach your own excellence at that moment.
But it's what you offer as a value to your client.
Yes.
Like
yes.
To your student, yes?
Yes, but let's say you're teaching something and you teach it a certain way. The second year when you're going to revisit that, if you keep teaching it the same way that you used to teach it, you will never improve. So I think excellence comes by wanting to improve all the time. And I remember I was never happy with something that I did the last year. I would just change it and change it and change it every year. And I said, how did I do that last year? And I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Now I see that it's not that good. So I think excellence comes to all areas of the business when you want to keep changing. And as a school, we added technology from many years now. You know, the computers and the softwares to have a good administration of the parents, an efficient way of communicating with the parents. And we're really high tech business. We are cash free. And we have a portal for the parents where everything happens online. They don't have to come to the school. And I think COVID also helped with that.
Okay.
And yes, we do have a very good organization. We are like obsessed with organization. The way we plan and organize the year, and the way we communicate with the parents so they know everything that we do. And we are clear with what we're doing with their children and why we're doing it.
It's important, yes.
Yes, to have clarity, I think.
You mentioned the show, and your latest show was about inclusivity and
Yes,
which is the next
of the values.
of your values.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
when did you put these values? It was before the trend of inclusivity, or
No. The values actually were not said in 2 words until this year.
Okay.
They were more called as philosophy, and they were in the website for many years now, but they were not actually put into 5 words. And it took us a long time to get them into the 5 words. And inclusivity means a lot. It's also about things that I had as a trauma, let's say, as a child, when the teacher would favor one child in the class. And she would give all the attention to that one child because it was her favorite child or because it was the most talented child.
Yes.
And I felt that that wasn't right. And I still feel very strong about that you have to, as a teacher, give all your attention and effort to all the students equally, whether they're talented or not talented, whether they love it or they don't love it. Because if they're there, it's up to you to inspire them and make them love it and make them, get something out of it and make them improve. And even if they don't achieve the same standard, they would still improve, for themselves, and they will feel this achievement.
And get something for the next phase in their life.
Yes, they learn a lot of life skills, and and as I say to the parents, not all of them will become ballerinas, but they will all gain a lot of life skills out of going through the process of learning dance, and especially classical ballet. So I think inclusivity came, yes, mostly out of that. And now, yes, it means more nowadays.
But it's basically how you treat
Yes.
your students
Yes.
in the lesson.
In general, yes.
And that leads us to the next value, which is positivity.
Yes.
What that means to you and to Motion Art Studio.
It's the experience of learning. It's important that it has to be, because ballet has for years been associated with a strict discipline,
Painful.
military, painful, even, shedding blood way. And I was always, no, it shouldn't be like that. Why? I don't like the expression work hard. I like more the expression work smart. And you shouldn't be hard to yourself when you're learning ballet. You have to accept that one day my best is, less than my best yesterday. And it's okay. The turns will not be perfect one day. The next day they might be better. The important thing is to always try to get the best out of you according to how you feel that day. So
it should be a positive experience,
yes,
and not a stressful
yes,
task.
and the teacher has to give a positive feedback without any buts. I say to them, I hate the buts. If you say to a student, "Oh, that was very good, but this wasn't good," that's like really, crashing them down. You have to tell them, that's really good. Let's work on this now. You can.
So you replace the but with an end.
Yes, no buts. So positive experience, it's a must. And if a student is not really capable of doing ballet in a positive way, because they really cannot, and there is a very small minority of, say, 5% max that ballet is not for them, then I would say to the parents, let's do something else. It's not a positive experience. It cannot be a positive experience for your child because really they cannot do it. But usually everybody can do ballet. It's not, unless you really don't like it, or unless you really don't have it and it's not your thing, then everybody learns from it and everybody gains from it.
So you include positivity if someone is not having a positive experience. You rather change subject.
Yes, rather
or
than having a negative.
Stop and go play soccer.
Go and do swimming.
Yeah.
Yes, because if everybody is going that way and you're going the other way, if you cannot really follow the music or any kind of problem you might have, then you could do something else, yes.
Okay.
But it has to be positive, the way that you learn. It has to be positive. Otherwise, why do it
Yeah.
and suffer?
And that leads us to the next value, that is accountability. What do you mean with this accountability? How you support this?
Yes, how we in as a whole, let's say, we want the students to get more than just dancing in the school. So we give them at the age of 11, starting from the age of 11 and above. We call it a special training for senior students, and we do that usually the first term, where we teach them different theoretical subjects. It can be anatomy, connected with dancing, history of dance, vocabulary of dance, and also things like managing stress, which is very important for them, and they demand it a lot. Positive thinking. And
So you
this
teach
gives
that as part of
yes, from the age
okay.
of 11,
Of the age
and
of
that
11.
gives them a holistic education in the school, and it's something they love. They really like to talk about all these subjects, and it's done like a discussion, but also a presentation to them. We learn about the importance of warming up, breathing, so important, not only for dancing, but connected also with their life. How can they, incorporate breathing exercises to help them with stress management? And that, I think, is us being accountable to our students and giving them more than just the dancing. And when they
And
finish,
the students be accountable to themselves,
yes,
to themselves and the society.
yes, and that brings
the-
us also to demanding from them to be
Yes.
accountable to us. For example, to respect that they have to come with their hair done and their proper uniform and come on time and not miss a lot of lessons. So to be accountable means a lot, because if they want to achieve their goals and they don't come to class, they cannot do that. So we do try to motivate them to put goals. We also have that as a lesson, that where we sit down and say, let's put a goal for this month. And it can be a self goal and a dance goal, where they put a goal, what I'm going to improve on, and also what do I want to improve for myself as a self-development goal, nothing connected with the dance.
They share this with the group, or they keep
They have
it
a choice. They
Okay.
have a choice to
Okay.
share it. And I encourage you to write it on their phone, because everybody now is using their phone to write things. And the other new program that we have, which is very exciting, is I call it STAMP.
What it stands for?
It's Student Teaching Assistant Mentorship Program. And this is something that I always wanted to do, because our students like to assist during class. They like to be involved. So I said, okay, we have to train them. And we did a program this year where those that were interested were enrolled in the program, and we call them Stampers. And we did a 4 hours training with them, where they learn how they will assist during class. And they were assigned to specific classes that they would come and do assisting. And they love it. They were there for the show as well, assisting. And it's something that they really can put in when they're studying at school. They have to put volunteer hours for their programs that they do, like Duke of Edinburgh and the cast that they have in the international baccalaureate schools. So they can put those hours as volunteering.
hours. Okay.
So it's a great,
So
exciting
you
new
give
program.
them a verification letter
Yes,
that they
yes,
volunteer for
yes.
20 hours.
Yes, they can put it also in their recommendation letter when they're going to study. They ask for a recommendation letter from us.
Yes.
We can mention that there also, that they did this program. And the training doesn't stop there. I mean, I have a training with them next week, for example, which is the second meeting. But usually I would meet with them like 3 times a year and do more trainings. This year we didn't because of the show, but yeah.
Nice. So that what it means professionalism, yes.
Yes.
And there is a last one,
Yes.
which
A
is
big one.
support.
A big one, I
It
would
is
say. Yes,
okay.
because you cannot imagine how many hours we spend outside of teaching, mentoring the students. It's something that, as the parents would say to us, they would not listen to me. I'm the mom, please, you speak to her. So as teachers, we owe to our students to support them because they do need psychological support and emotional support. It might not be connected with their dancing. Usually it's not. And all the teachers at Motion Art Studio, spend time doing this support. It could be on the phone, it could be after class, it could be with messages, talking with the students and giving them this family, I would say, support that, they can do it and helping them discover themselves through this journey.
That's very important because you have to do with teenagers, yes? A lot.
Yes.
After 11. So you...
Yes, and the teenagers are the ones that need more the support, but
Yes.
even the young ones. I mean, I have to go every year the first month and settle the really young ones, the 3-year-olds, the 4-year-olds, the 5-year-olds. It's emotional it's an emotional struggle to be able to handle, going into a class without your mother for the first time, and even if the environment is friendly, it's still standing by yourself and expressing with movement. And people think, oh, it's easy. It's not easy. I mean, ask an adult to stand up and start dancing in front of others. They don't want to do that. They
Yeah.
feel, embarrassed. The same with a child.
Imagine a child, yes.
Yes, they need this security, and the parent, that's why baby motion, I think, is important, because the parent is there giving the support and the example to the child, because I get the parents to do the rabbits in the class and they have to hop up and down, so their child sees them doing it and feeling, oh, I can do it if my mother can do it.
Yes.
So this is the support, and also the support, I think, is also to the parents, if they need any
It's very
advice,
important.
how to handle their child, especially at the very first years, because the children, the young children and the young parents, inexperienced parents, they really manipulate their parents a lot. You will see a 3-year-old manipulating the mother in an excellent way, and if the parent is not stable to understand that and give them, the discipline and the boundaries to help them feel secure, the manipulation keeps going on. So it's important to have, support for the parents and to help them realize, what's going on, and give them also feedback. What's going on in class? Your child looks a bit, is struggling with something. And also we ask the parents to communicate to us if there's something we should know as teachers.
That's happening in the...
Yes, it's
at
very
home.
important to have
Yes.
this communication with the parents.
Wow. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
You need a lot of... you have 300 plus students now?
Yes. Before COVID, it was 400. And COVID got us down to 300, but we are getting slowly back. Yes.
Nice. It was a great discussion, and I really mean it. We learn a lot from this discussion, and really, it's not easy for someone to know all of these things if you don't, like, through your website, or people nowadays don't sit and read long articles. So it was very nice to hear from you. Do you have any last messages before we close it that you think we should give to our audience?
Yes, I think I can speak about dance if you want, or you want me to speak more about the business side? Both. Okay. Business, I would say I had to learn the hard way how to manage a team, It was something that I didn't have any experience, and it was the hard way. But now I feel that I didn't stop learning. So I still study how to be a better leader and how to be how to manage better my team. I think learning never stops. So I think one message is this: never stop learning, because you need to learn and improve yourself.
What's your number one book or person that inspired you in business and
I
leadership?
don't remember names, but I follow a lot of people and hear their lectures and
Okay.
lessons, but I don't remember names.
Okay.
But I remember names that have to do with actors and things like that. I remember names in my class. I'm very quick to learn names of the kids. But yeah,
You leave the space for this.
I think so. I have to leave a lot of space,
Yeah.
especially
It's
at the
300 students. If you
yeah,
know
so you
everyone
have
by
to
their name.
and remember the parents'
parents'
names. Is also
So
it's not.
it's
I
around
don't remember all
1,000.
of them, but I try.
And sometimes the grandmothers and grandfathers.
Yes.
Nice.
And for the dance, I think I want to say that dance is I can say about dance teachers. Dance teachers are a species. I think that we are different from any other profession because we are dealing with we have to have a lot of different skills to do this profession. And if you are a dance school owner, you have to have even more skills to be able to do that. So you have to be talented in creative as well as maths. You have to know your maths. You have to know your economics to stand as a business financially.
Yeah.
And you have to be also good with people because you're communicating. And you work funny hours. You cannot have a family easily. I mean, you have to sacrifice your family to work. And now starting at 3 seems to be impossible because parents work late and they cannot bring their kids at 3. So we're like pushing our hours later and later. And that means no family time, And working late and also having to work even during holidays, having shows. It's a crazy profession. You never stop working and you never have a calm period. It's either exams, it's show, it's parents' days, it's registration, it's always there's something. So it's not an easy profession. People think, I'm going to be a dancer, I'm going to study dance, I'm going to teach. Whoa, it's not easy.
So you have to be very...
You don't know what you're getting into. You really don't. I knew that I wanted to teach, that's for sure. I knew that I could be a teacher of anything. I could even be a kindergarten teacher because I love little kids. But to be a dance teacher is very different. And I think it's, before you get into it, you have to go and try and see, what's going on in a school to realize, backstage, behind the scenes, what's going on. Because when you're a student, you say, they're having such a good time. They're laughing. Yes, we laugh. We laugh all the time. We enjoy it. We do a hobby as a job, so we do enjoy it. But there is behind the scenes that it's not,
It's always like every business, behind the scenes.
Yes, but not all the businesses are hobbies. Dance is a hobby.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of students that they love the hobby and they think, I'm going to study it. Yes, but do you really want to be a dancer? Do you know what a dancer goes through? It's not just I'm dancing in my kitchen.
That's very good that you have the stamp program because someone can get a taste
exactly,
of that. Yes,
exactly. And a lot of students...
You have to be there and sacrifice your hours and get to collaborate with this and this and this person that you don't really like or you don't really believe that they can do it, and you have to help them do it. And that's a very good addition to... Nice. Thank you very much.
I thank you. I enjoyed it.
It was a great discussion. And thank you for being with us until now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our upcoming episodes.